Hello, Dr. Moody and my Edl850 school law classmates. My name's Rick Hall. This will be my Mod 1 school law presentation. Currently assigned to Elkhart, Kansas, working at the high school, USD 218. A little bit of information about myself. Places I've lived in the world. I've actually born in Panama City, Florida. Lived in Eudora, Kansas, graduated from there, went to school at the University of Kansas, Johnson County Junior College. Also was in the military, lived in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Was in Germany for 2 years. Lived in Coventry, England. Utah for about 10 years. Lived in Ireland for a while. And most recently moved from Mountain Home, Arkansas, here to Elkhart to start teaching here at the high school. Some of the jobs I've had over my life are pretty varied. Of course, I've been a coach and a teacher. Been a travel agent. Been a highway road surveyor. Worked on a survey crew. Of course, in the military, I was a reference scene generation facility and an EMOS qualified sergeant. I was a dispatcher for a trucking company for a while. I was a software consultant for Oracle Corporation for about 15 years, and I was a functional consultant and also in the manufacturing and supply chain, and also did about 5 years as project manager. My current assignment is here. I'm a high school teacher, social studies, freshman and junior history, American history, as well as a coach and a teacher here at Elkhart, Kansas. A critical reflection of how our current administration is doing here in Elkhart. We're getting ready to institute a random drug testing policy, and I've been real impressed with the process of coming to that decision, working with the board. I'm the FCA representative, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and one thing I've learned here, the administration does a really good job of making sure that I know exactly what I can and can't do, what I can and can't say in the school environment and on school property. I've seen instances. We have a weekly collaboration meeting between the teachers every Wednesday after school, and our administration, especially our principal, Mr. Hadabal, does a really good job of discussing board policies and making things very clear to the teachers when it comes up, when we have issues in our classroom. There's been some circumstances here at the school district where we've had some athletes as well as band members and other outside activities, people kind of break the board policies on things, specifically drugs. The extracurricular activity participation policy and enforcement that I've seen has been very fair. They've done a really good job of making sure that they follow board policy. And of course, board policy reflects state and federal laws as well. I got called in early in the year to be on a panel for a young man who had been caught smoking marijuana, and there was a very heated discussion about how to handle it. And at the end of the day, the superintendent and the principal said, policy is this, you have to do exactly that, and you can't go beyond or less than that. And so it was a good exercise for me to be involved inside of that. I mean, overall, if I looked at our district, I think the biggest thing that I feel is what the administration does well is they treat everybody equally. Athletes don't get precedence. They don't get treated any differently than the normal student who might break a board policy or rule. And for me, I think that's the biggest thing, is that there's equal treatment for all students in the school, regardless of who they are, based on what the laws and policy is. The personal critique of myself, my school law knowledge and board policies is, on this confidence scale, I'd say I was right in between a 4 and a 6. I'm pretty unsure about that. So being the FCA representative here in school. There's very specific guidelines that I have to follow. Some of them I don't agree with, but I still follow them because they are the rule, they are the law. So I do the best I can to follow those guidelines. In the military, I learned about the OODA loop. You observe, you orient, you change the way you look at things, you decide how you're going to, and then you act. I try to use this in most everything I do, and it's a really good policy for me to follow when I'm trying to deal with board policies or school laws that I don't understand or don't know. So this is one of the guidelines I use, and of course at this stage my knowledge of school law and board policies is pretty low on the scale. My plan to improve, of course, obviously this class, Edl850, will help me be more prepared and be a better advocate for proper laws and policies. I'm going to have to sit down and review the board policies, and the policy handbook for USD 218, it looks like a dictionary, so it may be something that I'll have to force myself to read over the summer. But it is very involved and very specific, so I need to get deeper into it. Well, one thing that I have done already before this class, I've talked with our current administrators, both the principal and the superintendent, about the laws and the federal laws, the state and federal laws that they struggle with. Some of the things around, of course, around the FCA issues that I have, but there have been other things around drug use, what a school can or can't do. And I think our principal, Mr. Edl850, does an excellent job of making sure that everybody understands what we can or can't do as a school district. I mean, obviously, we're not the police force, we're not the law enforcement, and we can only do certain things, and he does a good job of doing that. One of the ways I like to improve is learn how my current district is different than other districts. I've taught in a couple other different districts, and the way they did things were a little different. We're instituting that random drug policy here at the school, and a lot of other districts have already contacted Mr. Edl850 and us for advice on that. So I think there's great value in looking at how other districts handle things. And bottom line is, I need to learn as much as possible from others. You know, people who've been there, who've done that, who know the laws and who've had that experience. But I imagine that the Edl850 class will drastically advance my knowledge in the areas of school law. And that's my presentation for Mod 1. Thank you.